One. All right, it's Andy and John from Car Repairs Made Easy. That's you for snapping your fingers at me. Freaking hit me. Anyway, we're going to change front brake pads on a 2004 Hyundai Santa Fe. If you can see in here, as you can see, they're pretty well worn out. Almost completely gone. There's not much lining left, if any. We'll show you that when we get them off. Pretty simple job. We just need a 13mm socket with a ratchet, a screwdriver, and we're going to use a large pair of channel locks to finish pushing the pistons back into the caliper. We have it up on jack stands. We have the steering wheel unlocked so you can turn the wheel. What we can do is we're going to get our screwdriver into the holes in the back of the caliper here, which are it's going to fit inside the slot here, just so we can get a little bit of leverage to loosen the caliper up off the brake pads. So we just give it a small pull once it stops. That should be enough. And we'll just take our 13mm, and if we're lucky on this one, we can just loosen the bottom bolt and swing the caliper up, since we're only doing the pads and not resurfacing the rotors. So we'll just take this 13mm out here, and then we could swing the caliper up. That'll stay there. Here's our two pistons, so you can see how thin the brake pads are. I'll take this one off. You can see there's the lining there. You can see how thin it is as compared to new ones. Quite a bit of difference. Now, what's important to note is when you take the pads off, where the wear sensor is, that's this piece here. Maybe on the inside or the outside, but you want to put it in the same position. And on this one, it happens to be at the top on the inside edge.
And it already broke off.
This one's been worn pretty thin, and it broke off. But usually what will happen is when this starts to, once the pads wear and it starts to contact the rotor, you'll hear some squealing, and that's your indication that it's time to replace your brake pads. This customer got lucky. The rotors aren't damaged, so we're just going to slide new pads on here. Always make sure these two anti-rattle clips are there in place. Keeps the pads from moving around. We'll just snap these in place. Let's get the outside one on first. Sometimes it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but they'll go in. There's that one. And there's that one. Now, since these pistons are pushed out, we're just going to set an old brake pad here.
You want to use my dual piston squeezer?
No, we'll use this. This will work.
Because they probably wouldn't have that tool at home.
Right. And then we'll just gently, slowly squeeze these in.
Always use it on an old pad, not a new one.
Right. And if you don't have a large pair of channel locks, you can use a large C-clamp in place of the channel locks. Works the same. And when you do this, make sure the cap is still on the brake fluid reservoir. Otherwise, you'll push brake fluid out everywhere. One thing we'll want to mention is you never want to add brake fluid to your car. Well, I won't say never want to, but if you ever have to, the only reason, there's two reasons the fluid level will be low. One, the brakes are worn, or you have a leak. And if you have a leak, you usually fill a spongy brake pedal, or it'll just go to the floor. And when you push these pistons back in, the brake fluid will go back up. Now that we have those in, it should be in far enough. Swing it back down, and that's it. Now, if you have these tools at home, you can do this yourself. You see some places, I won't mention company names, but they advertise $99 brake jobs for either axle or something like that. Well, they're just going to use cheap aftermarket pads. You can put whatever kind of brake pads you want on your car, and the rest is labor. So if they're putting a $20 set of brake pads on, they're doing what I just did, and I'm going to do on the other side, and they're going to put like $70 or $80 in their pocket. So this can save you quite a bit of money by doing it yourself. This side's done. We're just going to run around and do the other side, and then that's it. You know, he's going to get hit again. Okay, now we're on the passenger side. We're going to do the same thing. just the opposite side of the car. I'm not going to say much because John yelled at me because I talk too much. So if anything's said, he's going to say it. Otherwise, it would just be dead air.
What the hell? Not focusing. There we go. Freaking Andy's going turbo now and he's not talking. Here now he's going to compress the pads. I guess I'll narrate for him. Because he has a piss poor attitude.
Wow, these don't want to go in.
They're going in like butter. Just squeeze it.
Just a little bit more, and we'll be done. And then I'm going to take these channel locks and squeeze John's head.
If your hands worked as fast as your mouth, you'd have been done already.
All right, I'm going to let that go because we're trying to keep this G-rated. That's it.
Beautiful. We're all done.
All right. Again, this is Andy and John from Car Repairs Made Easy, and that's a front brake pad replacement on a 2004 Hyundai Santa Fe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Always be safe. Use your jack stands and make sure you put your wheels and tires back on. Bye.